Good morning, and thank you for joining me today. And congratulations for joining me on a Monday morning for just 10 minutes to get more from your career and more from your teams. Today, I'm going to be sharing something that's really exciting, something that I've created, and I really can't wait to hear what you think about it. Do drop me a comment to let me know who's watching, and I look forward to hearing from you. So, have you ever felt like you're feeling like you're fed up with banging your head against the wall, doing the same thing over and over again? Maybe that's in your current role, or maybe that's even as you're applying for new jobs. Perhaps you're not feeling recognized in your current role and you don't know what your next move is, so you're feeling a bit stuck. Or you're dragging yourself to work every Monday morning and you want it to feel like a breeze, like maybe it used to feel like a breeze. Your career plans perhaps don't fit with what the company is trying to box you into, so you're browsing job postings, wondering if any of them might work for you, or even if you're able to do them and you're just not quite sure. Or you have really great career experience, but you're not getting any callbacks when you're applying for jobs. So if you're nodding along and thinking, yeah, that sounds like me, it might be because you haven't taken the right steps to build up your career and haven't got kind of the right building blocks in place before you start to make your moves. So today I'll be sharing a framework to help you sense check how many of those blocks need either creating, fixing, or tweaking in your career so you can speed along more confidently in the knowledge that you have a plan, always with a bit of wiggle room because detours do happen, but you will get there somehow because you've got a plan that works for you. This is also great for team leaders to help develop their people. So if you've got people that, high potential, or they're really important to your business, everyone really, but especially those people that you want to retain, how do you help them build a career plan together? So that framework that I'll be sharing today is the Runway to Happiness. This is from my client work with about 50 clients so far. And I also surveyed about 50 people this year in the travel industry, not exactly the same people. So we've got a bigger pool. And in that survey, what I really wanted to find out is how people were feeling in their travel industry careers and what they wanted next. And I just got so much juicy information that I made a white paper. So you can download the digital version of this, and I will just pop up a QR code for you there. So if you want to download the white paper and read everything, then you can do that. So a key part of the white paper and the framework I've developed this year is the Runway to Happiness. And that shows the 5 key steps that you need to take to reach career fulfillment. And there is a point when people start to feel fulfilled and excited in their careers, which I've called the thriving threshold. So that's what it looks like. These are the 5 steps. And then you can see after step 3, there's a point called the thriving threshold. And I'm going to explain a little bit more about that in a minute. So of course, this kind of change doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey. And here's a bit of the journey that you're going to go on. So before you're even on the pyramid, so when you're off the pyramid completely, you might be feeling a bit fed up. You're down here somewhere. You might be feeling out of control, stuck, feelings of self-doubt, like, who am I to even do this? Do jobs like that happen to people like me? You might be sort of undervalued and overworked because you don't know your own strengths. So that might lead to 2 things, either inaction, where you don't do anything and you stay stuck in roles or in companies that don't value you and that are not helping you to learn and grow. So you might be quite frustrated, or you might be taking lots of action, but it's not really getting you anywhere. So like lots of online applications, if you apply to 100 jobs in a month and don't hear back, you're kind of spinning your wheels, aren't you? So that action is not really helping you. So the first step on the pyramid is career growth and leadership. So career growth and leadership is all about making a plan for your career, a unique plan based on your personality, your strengths, your values. Now, having a plan gives us a sense of control, a sense of safety, and we're taking back a bit of control from those around us. If we coast through life without making any kind of plan, who's making the decisions? Because the decisions still get made, right? So either your boss, your peers around you are making the decision of what job you have next, or even that there's no next job for you, right? Like if you're feeling stuck in the same role for a long time, could it be because you haven't made any decisions about it? When we have a plan, not only do we feel more in control and we feel more safety, it helps us actually to create new opportunities. Because if we say, I want a job that looks like this, and a job that looks like that comes along, we say, oh, that's an opportunity to do more of what I want and to get closer to the things that I want to do. Very rarely do we get the exact opportunity that we want. The universe is not like that. You have to take the thing that gets you closer to where you want to go. But having a plan, knowing what that looks like, I've never been a big fan of like the 5-year, 10-year plan that's a rigid thing, but definitely this is the kind of role I want to do, this is the kind of work I want to do, these kind of people I want to work with, this is what I care about, so that you're always going in the right direction. The next step on the pyramid is recognition. So obviously this can be financial recognition, and that is, we all work for money, right? So financial recognition, your bonuses, your holiday, your leave, maternity policies, all that kind of stuff. But it's also about building a network of people that can support you, whether that's in the company, in the form of mentors, your boss, your peers. Your peer network is one of the most valuable things that you'll ever have. And it can also be looking like getting support from outside the business. And I'd really recommend doing both and building a network of people in the industry that you want to be in. Having that community helps you see that you're not alone. It helps them to help you, because if you have made your career plan and you know what you want and you tell people about it in a way that makes it easy for them to help you, more opportunities are going to come your way as well. It also helps you to be more valued, because when you can communicate well to others about what your unique strengths are and where you want to go, they can recognize you for those strengths and give you more of that good work. So it's a good positive cycle for you there. The third step on the pyramid is all about purpose and balance. What that means is knowing your why and your how. So working with purpose actually makes us more resilient to setbacks and obstacles. Like I said earlier, I love to make plans that have a bit of wiggle room, because we know everything is not going to go perfectly. But when you have a longer term goal in mind and a bigger purpose, you will work towards that more resiliently. I'm not saying it has to be a higher purpose. We're not talking Mother Teresa here. What I'm saying is that if you know why you want to do the things you want to do, you will find alternate ways to get there. And balance is also really important. So how you want to do things, what are the minimum standards that you will allow people to treat you with? What are your boundaries? Do you need to finish work at 6 because you've got kids and you want to give them dinner? Do you never work at weekends? But also, what are the things that you are willing to do to move forwards in your career? Because if you want to give a bit extra, that's great, as long as you're not burning out. So purpose and balance, knowing your why and your how, go hand in hand, because they will help you to do more of the right stuff, less of the stuff that drains you, and make sure that people treat you with the respect that you deserve. So you don't get what you deserve in life. You get you get what you accept. So if you allow people to treat you a certain way, that will just continue. And this is the point after the third step. Just reopen the pyramid. After you've done those 3 steps, the career planning, the recognition, and finding your purpose and balance, you've reached the thriving threshold. And what that means is that's the point where you've built confidence in what you're doing. You've got a plan, you know where to go. You trust yourself more to do it. And that gives you more headspace to work on the next steps of becoming the go-to expert and really having more impact in your career. Because if you're worried about where your next job is coming from, essentially where's your next meal coming from, you haven't got the headspace to think creatively, bigger picture, do more stuff that excites you. So that is where the thriving threshold comes in. You stop feeling like you're scrabbling around for your next job. You stop feeling like you have to justify yourself. You're able to say no to opportunities that aren't right for you, rather than just accept anything that comes your way, because you know where you want to go and you know how you're going to get there. There are 2 more steps. So the eagle-eyed among you will have noticed that there's actually 2 more steps at the top of the pyramid, but that's a video for another time. So why is this important for you as an individual building your career? This framework really helps you because sometimes you might skip ahead some steps and feel like you're in the top 2 and you've already got the headspace and it's amazing. So maybe you're working on a great project that's really exciting, you've got great people around you, and you're working in a particular zone where you're using all of your amazing genius. But if you haven't done all the steps before, you can kind of stumble backwards. So you can be in that project for a few months and it's great. And then when you go back to normal life, you're not building on what you already had. So this can feel really frustrating. You might start to question yourself, like, oh, I thought things were going well. And now it seems like things aren't going very well anymore. So when you haven't been reflecting on the building blocks, you might rush to the top, it feels good for a while, and then you stumble back down. This framework also gives you really specific things to think about when you're reflecting on your career plan. So if you think of those career development reviews, personal development plans, and someone says, where do you want to be in 5 years? It's like, whoa, that's all a bit murky. Having this framework really helps you to think about specific things that you think you need to create or tweak. and specific things that you can get help with. Like I said, I'm a big fan of using your network to get help in your career. So the clearer you are when you ask for help, the more likely it is you'll get the help you need. Yeah. So the clearer you are when you ask for help, the more likely you are to get the help you need. If you say, hey, I want a promotion, and your boss says, why? What's exciting about that? Then they are going to find it harder to help you because they don't know, there's only so many promotions, right? But they may be able to find you projects which are related to your strengths, but they don't know that if you don't tell them. And then if you're managing teams, this framework is also great. The big number one is obviously retention. So we all know that we want to keep knowledge and expertise of the good people that are doing good work in our company. Hiring costs a lot of money, training costs a lot of time and effort of the team that's then distracted from their work. If people leave because they haven't got a clear career plan, you lose their expertise and knowledge, and the competition gains their expertise and knowledge. It's a double loss. So working with your team to create these career plans is a really great way for all parties to have ownership in it. And don't be scared. It doesn't mean you have to promise to promote everybody. There's different ways to help people move along in their career. And this is something I can help with if you need a bit of extra help. This framework also helps you to make the most of the strengths that exist in your team that you may not even realize are there. If people don't know what their strengths are, how can you know? So rather than hiring new people or paying a lot of money to outsource things, you could be mining the gold that's already in your teams, getting them to do better work, which helps them feel better too. And this also helps to create an environment where people can stretch and grow, but safely. This means that people aren't rushing ahead or stumbling in their career plans if they don't actually know what they want or what they're good at. We all know the story of the new manager who, with no training, becomes a manager because they've been good at their job. So maybe they're a great contracting manager, then they become an area contracting manager, and they've done that. And they don't get any support, they don't get any training, they didn't really realize what the job was going to be like. They don't know how to use their strengths in that situation, and that creates a really difficult and upsetting time for them. It's harder for you, they don't hit the ground running. So creating this kind of plan is really good. Now, in the white paper, you can download it. I have a lovely double-page spread on all the things that you could do to help you move further along in the runway to happiness. So I can support your company with this approach. If you need a bit of help with it, just drop me a note, we can have a chat. And then today and Wednesday, I'm running a masterclass all about building a career you love, building a career you're proud of without sacrificing your joy. So you can click the QR code if you'd like to join that. And this is also a little slice of the work that I do in my career coaching program, Manifest. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know how you found it. Bye.